Hey again, let me talk in this video about frame. Frame is another way to design your layout and make it more nicer by adding inside the frame. We could add a grid, we could add pick, whatever we want to do. We could have more than one frame in our layout, and that's what we'll see it in the next when we implement complete a project. So to get started and we learn about frame, let's create a new frame file, and I will just import this thing and I'll do root dot main loop, which is just showing layout. By running this one, you will not see anything, just simple layout for nothing showing it. So now let me do something. I want to add a frame inside this layout. Just I say frame, I just open frame, I will say equal ttk dot frame. Okay, I just define a new frame. So I want this frame to be inside the root, I will say root. So now basically you define your frame. Now I want this frame to appear. There's just in the main root, I just say frame dot pick. So now when we run it again, we will see frame inside the layout, or inside that. Hopefully now I could see it, but it's shows very small. You cannot see it. When you have a frame, you have to define like the width of your frame and the height. For that reason, now I cannot see anything, because I didn't define anything about my frame. I just define, hey, I have layout and this layout have frame. So let me talk about the frame. The first thing, you say, okay, my frame, I want to configure it by adding specific height for it, which for example like 200, and I want the width for it would be also 200. That's mean, hey, I have frame. My frame have a specific height and width, and yes, that is, and my frame will appear in the main. Now if you rerun it again, hopefully you see it. I cannot see anything, just I see screen with width 100 by 100. If you just increase my screen, I see it. Here is it my frame. It's 100 by 100. So now what do you think? If I want to add another frame, what I will do, just basically define it same way and say, hey, I have another frame. Let's suppose frame 2, and I packed frame 2 and I'd have this one. Because why I have to use pack, you have to know how you design your layout. Like, see, I have now 2 frames, one under another. One thing you have to know it and you have to understand it, like when I have this layout, and let me see it, how is it? If I have, like I have this layout and I said, hey, first thing I will do pick, I have to add the second thing as a pick also. I cannot say first thing is the pick and second thing is a grid. It doesn't work. They have to be same type of geometry. I say, when I say pick, the second one should be pick. But I could go inside this one, because now I have 2 frames and one under another. I use pick by add them one under another. Now I could add inside this one a grid. I could inside this one a grid. Also I could add inside this one number of pick and number of pick param geometry in this. So the one that I want to tell you here, if you have a geometry and you decide this geometry, so this is screen as a geometry, you said I would use a grid, all the elements have to be grid one after another. If you say no, this I want to use a pick, so I say okay, you will add 2 elements, but still here you could add anything inside it, because this is still like frame and this one is still a frame, so you could add anything inside this frame. So let me think by adding button inside the first frame. So I say go down, still having first frame, just say ttk dot button. Okay, when I want to add the button, I will not add in the root, because now I have frame. I will add it inside the frame. Sorry, not here. I will add it inside this frame. Okay, a frame, and I could give it a specific text like, hey, click me, and also I could do what I want to do. If I just want to do pick, I do pick. That means all the element inside this frame should be pick. Okay, so if you see, here you go, this is first one, you see it, he just changed the size equal to the size of the object, so I pick it. Also I could do it a grid. That's totally okay. I could do it a grid and I define which row and which column. But the one I want to tell you here in this video is this. If I have this button and I want this button to appear on row number 0 and columns columns number 0. Okay, hopefully now this one will work. And I have to add another button. Think about it. Click me 2, and add them to number 0, row number 3. Both of them using a grid, because both of them they added inside one, frame. If I want to add another button inside this frame, I cannot say this one is big. You cannot, because you define your layout, your geometry as a grid. They have to be a grid. But if you want to do it big, do it in the second one. Like in the second frame, I have this frame. I say, hey, my second frame 2, I want to add this button. Click me frame 2. Let me suppose this one, click me frame 1. This one frame 1. Okay, so let's just do naming 1, 1, 1, and this one 1, 1. So you would understand then what we mean by 1 and what we mean by 2. So looking back here, you see these two of them in one frame, and both of them using grid. This in one frame using peg. You could add another button here, and you have to use peg because you define your layout as a peg. So click me 2 and frame 2 peg. So you cannot say use a grid here because you are in the second frame, and the second frame you define your layout using peg. So if you see in the first frame I use a grid, I could add one beside other. Second frame I use it a grid. That's totally okay. There is many things I could do it with the frame. This is only one type, two types of frame I could do it. There is another type of frame. If I say ttk dot label frame, this one, if I just open a bracket, I will add it to the root. Why the root? Because I have this first frame in the root, second frame in the root, so I want to add third frame also on the root. So you could define something like, say, hey, this frame height will be like 100, the width will be equal 100, but this type of label frame, it could have a text. You could say, hey, the text third frame. So you could add text for it. So this is the nice thing here in this in the label frame. So now if I just rerun it, now I have 3 frames, one under another. So hopefully I could see it. Hopefully, yes. I cannot see it because I didn't define my geometry. I have say peg. I cannot say grid because both main frame are using peg. So this one have to use peg. You see, this is the third one. How is it? What are you using? See, third frame. Also, you could do a lot. This is not only one thing. You could define your frame, like what the type of the frame you are using. For example, you say, hey, I want this frame to use a specific type of frame. Just you say, hey, frame dot config again, or you could use in the sum that first one. You say real if relief equal. There's 8 of these type. This is the one I use it now. This is type of the frame that you would prefer to use it. As I told you, there is 8 of them. You could use any one you would like. I would use this one. You could add it for the second one also. The second one give the same frame. You could do padding. You could do a lot. So if I just say, here you go, hopefully, see, here is the type. I know you cannot see anything, so it's better to do padding. So I would do padding. Hopefully I could add more than one. Padding equal, let's add 10 by 10, 10 from X, 10 from Y for the frame 2 content. So hopefully I will be able to see. Here you go. See, this is the type of it. If you see this is too much for you to create a new config, you could move it here. Tools should work. Also this one you could move it here. Also it should work. It is different type of working with a frame, but the idea that make me talk a lot about frame because they're interesting in the project to build it. See, here is it. Yes, here we did not do padding for the first one. Let me just add this padding here also, so you would see it more nicer. As I told you, there's 8 type of frame. You could check them. See, I just added padding. See it. You could design it in any way you would like. You know how you design. You know how to work now. Yes, here we done, and see you next.